Good morning, my loves.
Good morning.
I'm here with fearless co-leader Eva Lani this morning.
Hello.
So what are we talking about this morning?
The brain patterns.
Yeah. So, okay, so yesterday we talked about kind of democratization of leadership and how we tend to follow the same stories that were handed down to us from
Our parents.
Yeah, and like our childhood growing up. And this is held true for thousands and thousands of years. It's so fascinating to look at this. Like, even our last names tell us this truth, right? So the last name Smith.
It's like you're going to inherit a Smith because your dad's a Smith.
Yep.
So you're going to be a Smith.
Exactly. And so it's something that we have kind of ingrained in our psyche to almost unconsciously accept the stories that were handed to us when we were little, whatever those stories might be, and then just continue to live them out throughout our lives. And so what we're discovering in the last really maybe 20 years of brain science is that we can actually do exercises to change those brain patterns, which is really cool.
Exercises.
Yeah, so that's one of the names from. There's actually a really cool book called Exercises, and it talks about just those brain exercises that we know that we can do to change our patterns.
Mm-hmm.
So just like exercise physiology for the last 100 years has given us exercises to maybe either hone or develop our physical muscles, there are now really amazing exercises that we can do to hone and develop our brain muscles so that our brain, instead of unconsciously controlling us, remember that 90% of our brain is unconscious, is the subconscious. So instead of allowing that to unconsciously control us and move us, that we can actually do exercises to change our brain patterns. So like our neurological patterns, we can actually find those exercises to change them. And why that helps is because it helps us to break out of any kind of patterns that might have been handed to us that we don't necessarily want to have in our lives.
So if we were poor and our parents were poor, we might end up poor.
Yeah, exactly. And so, for example, my parents are divorced. Well, I don't want to get a divorce, And so how can I change my brain patterns? What exercises can I do in my brain in order to kind of bring forth that future that I want to bring forth? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we call this conscious leadership, and it's the first step that we do in our leadership development.
Because you're being conscious of the stories that were given to you.
Instead of it running your subconscious, you're just starting to be conscious of those actual stories that are there, that are being told, because once we're consciously aware of them, we have the power of choice of what we want to do with that. So this is a big part of leadership development that we give to people who have the money to pay for it, because then they have the skill sets to go forth and do the things that they want to do. Mm-hmm. These are the things that we want to give to people, just like Eva Lani.
That's why it's nice to have a mom that's a leadership development.
I don't know, nice and crazy.
Have to pay for it.
Exactly.
You guys have to pay millions of dollars. I have to pay none.
So this is one of the reasons that we work on this leadership development with moms and kids and people who might not be able to pay for it as much, because they're the ones that are developing the future, right? And for us, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just yawning, sorry.
For us, it's important to not just make the status quo continue, but allow for there to be movement in between everything, which can be kind of a funky and uncomfortable place. And so we invite people to go there because it's some place that it seems like the world is sort of asking for now. So there you go. There's our 5-minute leadership for this morning.
Bye.
Bye. We'll see you tomorrow.